What's up, everyone? What's going on, everyone? What's up, Zach? Hope you're all right. See, you were in a car. I see Zach Attack was in a car accident. Hope everything's okay. A couple. Had a couple of that. Well, so what happens? What happens, Zach? You hit a deer. See, you hit a deer. Well, I got in an accident, hit a deer, and I'm okay though. My job gave me the day. Well, it's nice when you get into a car accident. Your job says, you know what? Take the day off. Everything's okay. Just have a day to yourself. That's not right. That's not right. Oh, what do we see here? Let's see what Zach Attack also has to say. Yeah, it's damaged my car badly. Well, that's not good. What's badly? Like a couple $1,000? I mean, is the car totaled? Is it like a Daniel Jones collision? Is it something such as that? Is it one of those? I'm trying to find the Daniel Jones crash just for Zach Attack. And we'll give Zach the Daniel Jones 5. We'll give him the Daniel Jones crash.
Never mind.
Well, that just sucks. That just sucks for the Zach Attack. Yeah, but you know what? Where's Zach? At least you're here now. You get to talk about the Giants. We get to talk about a lot of good stuff. We get to talk about the Kafka. We get to talk about the Dable. We get to talk about the Daniel Jones. How he is going to turn the corner. I am now the defender of Daniel Jones. I am the defender of the flame, known as Daniel Jones. And anyone that believes that will tell you this. You evidently Zach hit a deer. Ran in front of me, hit it at 25 miles. No, Daniel Jones would have missed the deer since you can't go through that low. Daniel Jones would have tripped. Daniel Jones would have been safe. But I'm the defender of Daniel Jones now. The Kafka is going to let the Jones loose. He's going to let it fly. He is going to just turn this all around. He is going to be, we have a new Dom sound effect too. We brought this over for the Dahmer because you know what Daniel Jones is now going to be referred to as? I'm going to play this from my phone. See if this works.
I am the god of hellfire.
That's going to be Daniel Jones, the god of hellfire. That's Dom. That's the Dom. Oh, gee, knockout. What's going on, my friend? What's going on? Everything's good here. Zach hit a deer. Got the day off. Got to come here and talk about the Kafka. Got to talk about the Jones. I get concerned about the Kafka. Sitting there going, you know what? It's not really my job to do certain things. They're going to have to figure it out on the field because they're on the field and I'm not. I'll tell you, I got red flags when I heard that. Red flags went flying when I was hearing that. Because of the fact that, and I said this before in my video, you're in the box. You know what's going on. You can see the totality of the field. Sometimes your players can't. So for you to sit there and say, well, you know what? I'm going to give them the freedom. You're going to give Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson, two potentially talented players, the ability to make changes potentially on the fly of their own volition in reference to the route running, when neither of them are polished route runners. That's a recipe for disaster. Does anyone remember Ruben Randall? He rocks the mic like the Randall. Rocked it so hard he's out of the league because Eli Manning didn't want to throw to him anymore. You need to be a consistent, polished, professional route runner to gain flexibility to do what you want to do. And that's something you got to look at. Mike Lee says, unlike Big Blue Sports Entertainment, the asphalt monster would have gotten DJ before. DJ would have tripped over the yellow line. He would have been like, what's the yellow line on the road for? Oh, Grant, I miss you. MetLife Stadium would cause Daniel Jones to fall for absolutely no reason. He would never fall in the Meadowlands, though. They should play in New York. Judge Red. No, it's not. That's a great point. It's not a Judge red flag. Why is it not a Joe Judge red flag, what Kafka said? I'm going to tell you why right now. Because he's not going to be fully running the offense. He's not going to be the one that's going to be in charge of everything. It's going to be Brian Dable. He was the venerable passing coordinator for 2 seasons. And I've said this before, and I said it a million times, and it's not a slight against Mike Kafka, but you're coaching Patrick Mahomes. I said it in a video the other day. I could go coach the 90s version of Michael Jordan and say to him, hey, Michael, score a basket. Look, I taught him how to do that. When you have a great talent, it's to your advantage when you're there, but it's to your detriment when you leave. We went through Brian Daboll's career before he ended up in Buffalo. His offense is ranked like 27th, 28th, 26th. He didn't find success till he found his Messiah, his muse, we should say. He will say that. He found his muse, and that would be in Josh Allen. So is Daniel Jones, Mr. Jones, is Daniel Jones the muse of Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka? I don't know. I love it that so many people are so high on him. They're already talking about drafting a quarterback in 2022. That don't make sense to me. Oh, my God. Doesn't make sense. The season has just started. Hey, what's up, LJ? The season hasn't even started yet. We haven't even gone into the end of the start of training camp, and people are already prognosticating the Giants taking a quarterback in 2022. One lonely beastie I be, all by myself without nobody. But everybody's here. Everybody's joining in. Holy space balls. Glad you're okay, brother. Zach was in an accident. Sending love out to Zach. But it's not a red flag. It's not a Joe Judge red flag. Less is more. The season beginners lucky 10-7. We're not winning 10 games. I wish we were. We are going to run the T-bone. We are going to call it the Dable bone. The D-bone. You watch and see. Watch and see. I wonder if Kafka means Dable makes all. Dable's making the decisions. Kafka has never been above passing coordinator. He's only been in the league for a hiccup since 2017. He's not running the offense. He will do what they did with Eric Bieniemy all those years. Bieniemy will spend the week installing the game plan, being in the meetings, and then turn the keys over or the clipboard over to our old buddy, Brian Daboll, and say, here, I gassed up the car for you. Do what you need to do. I don't like the idea of Jones getting free rein on an offense because clearly he's known for being great at broken plays. Yes, Daniel Jones is known for being the facilitator. He's known for that. He's known for being able to make these wonderful plays. He's like the magic man. He's the old Don Makowski. He's the magic man. Back in the Green Bay days, he could just make things appear out of his sleeves. Yeah. That worries me too. Ruben Randall has the distinction of being the only player Eli. Yeah, Chicago game. Thursday night, Chicago game. Eli Manning threw 3 first half interceptions, all to Ruben Randall. Ken Randall ran the wrong routes. Expect a little bit of that with our old buddy, Daniel Jones. Holy Spaceballs. We already did that one. Grant says, we need a Giants fan. What the? I am a Giants fan. Do you see a lot of 3-step drops? Yes. Yes, Jay. I see a lot of 3-step drops, quick passes. Eliminate the idea of the Garrett offense. And I've said this a million times. I believe it was an edict from the Juggernaut. Eliminate the opportunity for Daniel Jones to lose the game. And I think what Daboll is going to do, and I think he's smart enough to understand this, a lot of quick 3-step drops, first reads, fire, cut the field in half. Same thing that Shermer did, cut the field in half. Now, the problem was this will work for an extended period of time, but you need a quality running game. You need some road pavers. And that's what we need to tell. Come on, guys, we got 7 likes. Let's get these likes up. We need road pavers. We need guys that are going to come out of nowhere, smash it, trash it, hit it with a hammer and bash it, and move the pile. But yes, I foresee a lot of quick 3-step drops. Keep the offense simple. Limit the ability for turnovers. Play ball control. Play a little Dable bone. And everything will work out just fine. Mr. Elber says, well, Tim keeps the hope for Jones to succeed. I'm ready for the list of 2023 prospects after week 5. We may get Tyrod Taylor after week 5. Just because I am kumbayaing with Daniel Jones, kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Just because I'm kumbayaing does not mean I believe in him. I think that he's sending me a message. Don't send me a message when I'm working.
I am the god of hellfire.
That's Dom. I don't know why Dom sends me these things, because honestly, he should know by now that I'm just going to use them. I'm just gonna use them every time he sends them to me. What's up, I got Big LJ in the room. What's up, room? James Williams dropping in the mic, coming on in. DJ not mean his own muse. He's not his own muse. Oh my God. Jay says, if the offense and defense rank in the top 25, that I don't think that's a success. I think there's only 32 teams. I think if we want to have a success, Jay, you need someone in the top 20. I don't care if it's 19. Hell, I don't care if it's 20. You need someone in the top, not both. I'm not saying it has to be both, but you need at least one of either the offense or defense in the top 20 to be considered a success. Joe Shane and Brian Dable aren't going to let Daniel Jones get them fired. I'm confident enough to say that this is Daniel Jones' last. I think it's Daniel Jones' last year as a quarterback as well, because I think you're right. What head coach wants to lose with someone else's quarterback? You're in. That's the problem with Dable and Shane. You're in a lose-lose situation. If Daniel Jones is successful, you're probably still going to let him walk. And then you're going to be the guy that let him walk. And then you still have to find a quarterback. If he's not successful, you still have to find a quarterback. You're in a lose-lose situation. Bad to debone. Bad to debone sound effect. Bad to debone. George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. Bad. I'm bad to the bone. We're here in New York. Need Giants as a governor. Giants, a state who will be willing to bring Giants back to New York State. I'm done with the stupid Bills fans as our governor. They're a governor. They're a Bills fan. I didn't know that. James Williams says, hit the like. Smash it. Bash it. Hit it with a hammer and trash it. Sideline to sideline offense, not vertical. Horizontal. Yes. Yes, LJ, you're right. Keep it simple. Quick 3-step drop. Limit the options. Limit the ability to create mistakes. Ball control. You can have all the motion you want. Don't care. But you can do all that. Ball control. That's it. And run the hell out of the ball. And you could be successful. I agree. Jets gave Donald his time and got Wilson out of it. So let's see who we get for our charity. Like I said, I hope Daniel Jones succeeds. I do. I really do. I hope he succeeds, because that means the Giants succeed. If he fails, that means the Giants fail. Unless Tyrod Taylor comes in and runs the tie bone, the OG QB, which is, and I've said this a million times before, the Dable Buffalo system is more suited for Tyrod Taylor than it is for Daniel Jones. And I do think at some point in time, we are going to see them, him, Tyrod Taylor. We're going to see him start. I don't know if it's via injury or if it's via necessity because of the fact that Daniel Jones isn't playing well, but we will see a start. We're giving away a Coaches Club ticket. We're giving away a Coaches Club ticket. Not today. James Williams, subscriber, extraordinaire, friend, brother from another mother, is going to go to the game. We have OGR Sports is also coming with us. You have Online Big Blue going. We are going to be hanging out in the Coaches Club, field level, and we got one more ticket we're giving away. I was going to give it away to a. I was going to invite another content creator, but then James so succinctly pointed out, nobody likes you. No content creator likes you. Why the hell do they want to go to your show? Why the hell do they want to go hang out with you? I'm fucking awesome, man. I'm awesome. Trust me, hanging out with me is like a Mardi Gras. You don't know what the hell's going to happen. But we are going to be giving that ticket away. The game is August 21st. It is the ticket only. You have to get your own parking pass. We will be meeting in the red lot in the Verizon Center, by the Verizon Center. You will be on the field with me. When I drop my 40-yard bomb, I'm going to stand on the 35, have someone 5 yards deep in the end zone. We're going to record this, dropping a 40-yard rope. People are like, there's no way you could do it, Tim. There's no way. You'll see. The guns are coming. I'm getting the guns back up. You'll see. But we are giving away that ticket. Do you think the new NFL CBA needs updating to prevent more injuries? Yes, I do, Zach. And that's a very interesting question. And we have a video coming out about that. Coming about how we got away from 2-a-days. How we got away from being able to have some contact. We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. Let's see here. Do you see Tony or Robinson? Yes, I see either one of them returning punts. Someone has to return punts. God forbid if we have a defensive back returning punts. If you have a Dory Jackson returning punts, if nobody remembers the Jason Sehorn fiasco in preseason, no, you can't, because Dory Jackson right now is your CB1. He cannot return punts. He cannot return punts. He cannot return punts. He cannot return punts. I'm just saying that over and over again so Brian Dable will sit there and understand and sit there all of a sudden sitting in his living room right now going, damn, I don't think a Dory Jackson should return punts. This is why I wanted them to grab this year's Malik Willis. You would have Malik with 1 year experience with your top 10 pick next year, and you grab a prime wide receiver. Now, evidently, Malik's looking good in mandatory minicamp. The Tennessee Titan fans already want him to start. Who's the better battle this year? Hold on a second. Got the allergies. Who's better this year, Giants or the Jets or the Giants? It pains me to say this, but if the Jets, if all their multitude of first-round picks pan out, they're going to be better. They're going to be better than Giants this year. Not saying forever, but this year, yes. Mr. Eller says, yeah, we did grab a prime wide receiver. We got the jackknife Wan'Dale Robinson. It's Wan'Dale Robinson. We better not run the T-bone through. Yes, you need to run the T-bone. Hold on. You need to run the T-bone. You sit there. You have Saquon Barkley in the center. You flank him with Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson, and you have our old buddy Kenny G out on the wing, and you have Bellinger, whomever, in the tight end position. It'll work. I'm telling you, it'll work. Just start Tyrod Taylor week 1. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. We'll be fine. I'm scared for this season. I'm scared of bears. I'm scared of Bigfoot. I'm scared of crashing into a large mountain. Tom Chris, you good man. I'm not scared of the start of the season because it is what it is. It is what it is. Tim, I understand if DJ was great, but the rest of the team was bad, but that's not the case. DJ sucks just as much as the rest of the team. Nothing wows me about his quarterback play. No, nothing wows me either. I cannot sit there at this point in time and tell you there's multitudes of things that DJ does well. that you sit there and say, wow, DJ is like, DJ is so awesome at this, or DJ is so awesome at that. I don't have that feeling that he has an intangible skill set, which is far and above the rest of the people, even in the NFC East. But sometimes inspiration can come at a necessity. And I think that's what can happen with Daniel Jones. Dable can be inspired to figure out if he is actually the offensive genius, which we all think that he is. He could be inspired to figure out a way to have Daniel Jones facilitate. Well, we're getting some rain. Facilitate in a way that will allow him to succeed. He does not have the Josh Allen attributes, but maybe there is something there that we don't see that's tangible that Dable is seeing or Kafka is seeing, which can allow Daniel Jones to excel, not to the point where he's going to be an all-pro, not to the point where he is going to be a world beater, but to a point where he is more than serviceable. That's what I'm hoping. Mike Lee says, wear your LT jersey. I cleaned the floor. So my LT jersey's on the floor anymore. I may have to. That's I'm gonna drop the 40-yard bomb. You guys just wait and see. Just wait and see. It's gonna be awesome. People are gonna be like, oh. Sad to say this, but after the interview Meyer had is basically forcing Dable to play Jones until he sucks or gets injured. Which can happen real easy, which can happen real quick. Either way. But we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. That's what I keep telling people. Charlotte Latin School. We're going to be fine. Hit that like button. I like Washington. I think Washington will win the division. I'm telling you this. I'm concerned about the Eagles. I'm concerned about their upgrades on defense. I'm concerned about they got weapons for Jalen Hurts. I'm actually a little bit concerned about Carson Wentz sitting there with the Commanders. Dallas is going to be a tough out. It's not going to be this pushover division. I don't think Washington will be the division winners. I don't. I still think Washington. I still think that's going to fall. I still think that's going to fall into either. I still think it's going through Dallas. I mean, not Dallas. I think it's going through Philadelphia. Don't get me started, Tim. My mouth was watering at the idea of drafting Malik Willis this year, then grab Jonathan Addison or Jackson Smith at the wide receiver. You know what? The Malik dream is gone.
All aboard the Malik Willis Express.
It's gone. And that's fine. Because we are riding the Daniel Jones merry-go-round. That's what we're riding now. We're going to spin in circles. See what the fuck happens. It's going to be fun this year, guys. It's going to be fun this year. I just want to beat Dallas. I want to beat Dallas. I want to beat Philadelphia. I want to beat everybody. 17-0. You see DJ and Kafka went over every turnover. Wonder how long that took. I get concerned. And I mentioned I had a friend. And he's still a friend. He works around the Giant organization. And he's told us things before. And I would say 98% of stuff that he's told we've been right on. And I asked him about all the interceptions that have been tossed around during the OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. Guys say you never hear who threw the interception. You always hear how wonderful Daniel Jones, but you never hear who threw the actual interception. And he was like, well, Daniel Jones. And he said there was a lot of interceptions. But I told him, I said, I'm not worried about it because I don't worry about interceptions in June. It's like the old baseball adjective. They tell you, don't leave all your hits in spring training. And me, it's the reverse. Get all your interceptions out of the way June, July, and August. What's up, Timothy? Tim, Davis Welby, the starting quarterback of the Giants in week 1. The Titans and the Titans is Daniel Jones, and Tyrod Taylor will get hurt in preseason. I don't want that to happen. Hey, Jose G. What's up, Jose G? haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Charlotte's a Latin school. That's where Daniel Jones went in high school. Couldn't get into Sister Mary of the Poor. As far as these goes, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I'll also quote Meatballs, Woody the Wabbit. He's Woody the Wabbit. People in their 20s are like, what the fuck is he talking about now? Did he have an aneurysm? Is something going wrong? Has something very wrong here? Again from Meatballs. So you really think he can inspire him to play every game like he did against the Saints? That's another problem. No, I don't think that. I do not think that he will. I don't think that he can inspire. Inspiration is driven by perspiration. Old coach used to say it to me all the time. I thought it was stupid. But I do think that if Dable is the offensive genius that everyone is making him out to be, if Kafka is the Doogie Howser of the NFL, you should be able to find a skill set that Daniel Jones will be good at and able to excel. That's my opinion. That you should be able to find something that he does well enough. It's always one of those things. We have to find plays that he's comfortable running. There's got to be something. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that Daniel Jones is totally devoid of talent. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that at all. If we were in the AFC Central, we would win like no games. We would be 17-0. Patriots coach Joe Judge proposes 7 timeouts per half and still sarcasm. Like, warning, sarcasm. Oh yeah, I couldn't find the sarcasm button, but I found the poppycockers button. Couldn't find the sarcasm button. No, and I still haven't labeled my keyboard yet. Jose G says, I'm happy to have the attacking defense instead of the reacting defense that we had the last 2 seasons.
What's your assignment?
Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody.
I thought it was kill everyone. I screwed that up. They went over every turnover in his career with the Giants. Well, they're probably still in the meeting. They're probably still in the film room. They're doing that. They're probably still looking back at the draft. The Chiefs and the Packers draft most of the players I wanted on their team. Notice how I mentioned the teams that are good because they know how to draft. Well, the Packers had a little hiccup a couple years back. Here now, then they haven't been. Do I want to use the Packers as a model franchise for the Giants to follow? Yeah, I gotta say, you probably have to. You probably have to. You probably have to say they are. What I love about these tracking devices, I'm tracking my son. See where he's at. Found him. But they do know how to draft. They do. He's getting a lot of He's getting all the interceptions now, but saving the fumbles. Hey-oh. James Williams will be here all night. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. Maybe he is, because they don't talk about the fumbles. I have to see I want to see how they figure out a way, though, to use. I'm curious. I am literally curious. People are like, you seem very optimistic this year, Tim. You're optimistic. Your optimism is blinding. Because what do you got? What else do you have if you don't have optimism? If you don't have optimism. For a genius, he makes a lot of bonehead plays. He does. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to enhance our feng shui. Everything's going to be fine, guys. Everything's going to be fine. This is the kinder, gentler Tim. That everyone, because I am taking everyone's sensitivities into account, and I'm allowing them to grow and maturate into a channel that's full of love and understanding. Glenn says, your opinion is wrong because it's a fact DJ is void of skills, lack of talent, and luck. He's got it. Glenn, I'm not listen, I'm not a DJ. Everyone knows I'm not a DJ lover. Not even close. But do I think he's void of skills? No. You have to have some skills to be in the NFL. Do I think he's got a lack of luck? Yeah, I actually do think that. I do think that. But like I said, you have two guys that are supposed to be offensive geniuses. So let's see what these geniuses can do in reference to Daniel Jones. Zach says, Packers do not like drafting wide receivers. No, they don't actually, do they? They don't, but they find their wideouts. They get, but again, is it an Aaron Rodgers thing? Like I always tell people, name me one wide receiver that left the Giants outside of Odell Beckham recently that excelled after they left the umbrella of the greatness known as Eli Manning. Now you could see, what interesting enough is you could find some wide receivers that left the Packers that have excelled. So yes, I just said Eli Manning's better than Aaron Rodgers. Omar Epps took Halle Berry from you, man, and his starting spot from the program. I can't talk about that movie. I was there at the filming of that movie. Let's see here. Mike Lee says DJ is very skillful at killing drives in the last 2 minutes of the half. Hey-o. Come on, guys. Let's have this feeling that everything is going to be all right with Daniel Jones. That things are going to just be, that we are going to be one day at the stadium. And Daniel Jones goes back deep. He looks for Sterling Shepard. He throws the ball in. It's an interception. And it's going back for 93 yards the other way. Yes, I'm going to be doing Giant games this year. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Games that I don't go to, I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing live on the internet. And it's going to be fun because you know me. I'm not going to just sit in front of the screen and just talk about it. I'm not going to do this. And the Giants are on the 12-yard line. And now Saquon Barkley runs the ball up the middle. No, we're going to have graphics. We're going to have fun. We're going to have special guests. We're going to have things that are flying in. It'll be great. Oh, wait. I forgot. I think he's a decent backup quarterback. He could be a decent. Dan Jones could be a decent backup quarterback. You're right. I do think he could be a decent backup quarterback. I think he could be a decent spot starter. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you that he is going to run a team into the deep into the playoffs. I'm not going to. I'm not going to tell you that at all. He's not going to get one of these as a starting quarterback. Yes, I just wear Super Bowl rings around the house all the time. Just because I want to. Just because I can. Just because I'm me. But he's not. I don't. There's certain guys that you know are going to win in this league. But then you have to look at the fact that nobody thought Brad Johnson was going to win a Super Bowl. No one thought Trent Dilfer was going to win a Super Bowl. Hell, a lot of people didn't think Eli Manning was going to win 2. And Aaron Rodgers won 1. We'll know by 7 if DJ's learned anything or not. There will be no doubt by then. I agree. I think we'll know by week 5. I think that was very apropos that James. I think it's very apropos that James. I'll wear this one now too. That James says week 7. I think that was very nice of James. You know what's funny? I just look on the floor and I find the Super Bowl rings. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Eli made Will Tye into an NFL tight end. He made Kevin Boss. He made Jeff Ballard. He made a lot of guys into NFL tight ends. He did. He truly did. I will have to say tying his shoes, but you know the last 5 yards.
No.
Damn it. I'm going to label these buttons. It's Daniel Jones at the 5.
There we go.
It's Daniel Jones at never mind. There we go. I found the button.
That's what she said.
Hey-o. Tim will scream at DJ to throw the damn ball. Do you want to hear how I would call the game? Here, I will. This will be a sample of Online Big Blue calling the game for Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones fades back. He looks. Throw the damn ball. Stop patting it. And he fumbled again. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's what you'll get. That's what you get when I call games. Let's see here. Eli Manning 2-minute drills favorite. Plexico Barris, Cruz, LBJ, Kevin Boss, said by the man himself. You're right. You're right, 100%. Don't forget, we're going to be giving away the Coaches Club ticket. You get to hang out with OGR Sports, myself, James Williams, the dapper, handsome gentleman right there on the screen. We're going to give it away to a subscriber. I don't know how we're going to give it away yet. You have to be a subscriber. I got rules. Rule number 1. You have to be a subscriber. Rule number 2. You need to know at least 90% of the lyrics to any Rob Bass song. I want to rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known because I'm known throughout the microphone because I get stupid. I mean outrageous. Stay away from me if you're contagious because I'm a man now. No, not a loser. Being MC is what I choose. Ladies love me. Girls adore me. If people never saw me alike. Sorry. You have to know at least one Rob Bass song. And then we'll figure out the rest as we go along. Even Jones' name sounds like a Madden creative backup would have. It's kind of funny if you do think about that. If you do think about that, it is true. Because, back in the day, back in the old days, like the real old days, before you had NFL licensing, they would make up names in these NFL games. And the backups would always be like Dan Jones, Tom Johnson, Bill Smith. So you're right, Mr. Alvarez. That is pretty funny. Yes, I'm freaking hilarious. At least the play calling will be entertaining. I'm hoping the play calling will be. I hope the play calling will be entertaining. I hope it will be inventive. I hope it'll be anything but then what it's. Yeah. But is it the play? But that's the question. Is it the play calling, or is the person executing the play calling? We went over a lot of film, or I went over a lot of film. And we talked about it with Darius Slayton. And I did the video with OGR Sports, OGR 312 the podcast. We did a breakdown of the video about how many times that Darius Slayton was actually targeted, thrown to, and percentages of time open. You could have the greatest playmakers in the world, but if you can't get them the ball, it's not going to do much. What's up, OG? I think Jones is smart, but the game is too fast for him. I think Davis went 2.0, to be honest. I don't disagree with that to a point. I don't think he's Dave Brown, but I could actually, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Davis Webb to me is almost like Jake from State Farm. Has all the intangibles, has the NFL smarts, just doesn't have one of these. Just doesn't have an arm. Daniel Jones, I do think he's not a dumb kid, but I do think the problem is that he doesn't have. You're right. I don't think they've said this before. And if anyone that's played in high school, and I played in both, you play high school, you play both in college, you understand the expression that the game needs to slow down. The game, as you first get in, the game is going so fast. It's going 1,000 miles an hour. And you don't know if you're ever going to find that spot where it literally almost is like the game is in slow motion, that the game is slowing down. And they've talked about that with quarterbacks, wide receivers, especially in the NFL, how the biggest problem is everything's going so fast, but then, like I said, you reach that point where it starts to slow down. And I don't know if Daniel Jones could ever get to that point. James says, I'm glad your son's not coming with us because he would have to pick up some colorful language. You don't think he already has some? It was in my house. It was in my house, James. James, I'm very excited about you. James is coming over. James is coming over to the house to hang out. Very excited about that in a couple of weeks. So is my son because they're going to play Transformers. I think that's funny. That just fucking cracks me up. They're going to play Transformers. Even my son's like, yes, Uncle James is coming. I'm going to play Transformers with him. Oh, my God. Glenn says, all you mad week 3 if we're 0-3 and they want to be rooting? I'm not going to be mad. I've already said I have a feeling we potentially could start 0-7. My thing is this, Glenn. I don't care. You know what the funny thing is this year? I don't care what the record is. I really don't care. I could give two poops about what the record is. Why? Very simple. I just want to see player development, player improvement. That's all I want to see. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. John says it's Daniel Jones has to go. Hey, ho, Daniel Jones has got to go. I don't think he'll be here next year, John. I don't think he will be here next year. So I'll go with that. Zach Attack says Zach was in a car accident, but he's okay. Do you think that Pro Football Focus is on the Giants' in-house payroll? Recently, yes. I'm going to tell you this. I am going to tell you this. I've always thought the national media narrative against the Giants has always been pretty negative. I really have. Pro Football Focus recently has been pretty upbeat about the Giants. And I have to say, I got to give the Giants PR department all the credit in the world, because their job is tough enough that they have to turn around and they have to make a Picasso out of finger paints. So you got to give them all the credit in the world. I'm dropping some great analogies tonight. Daniel Jones is a genius. He's smart enough to jump head first. Oh, I should have read that one all the way. Head first into two Cowboy linebackers. Nobody said he was smart. I pray to the Lord every night that he is not here next year. I don't think he's going to be here next year. I really don't. I mean, is there a quarterback in this draft right now in 2023 that I am stellar about, that I am pumped up about to no extent? No, because you know what? We haven't started the college season yet. We haven't started the NFL season yet. And I always tell people, talk to me when we get into like week 2 or 3, if not 4 of the college season. Because then I can tell you if there is a guy there that I want to see or want the Giants to draft. Then I can tell you. But right now, I can't tell you if there's a guy there that I want to see the Giants go after and get, because I don't know yet. Because there's so many problems and so many other issues that can occur, before these guys even get in to a season. So we have to just kind of wait and see, and I just want to wait and see. What is this? Why does it tell me they want to do something here? Dismiss it. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Okay, I got something coming through the thing there. Giants clown. Do you think about the Florida quarterback Richardson? Lol. Will the brat Archie Manning end up? I always love, because you know what? I actually like the kid from Florida. I actually do. But I don't know what he's going to be next year yet. Spencer Rattler. Don't know what he's going to be. I mean, look at him. Look what happened to Spencer. We don't know yet. Where will you know what's funny? You would think that Archie was going to end up in Ole Miss. Cooper went to Ole Miss. Eli went to Ole Miss. Grandpa went to Ole Miss. Cooper, of course, never got to play at Ole Miss because he had the degenerative neck problem. But you would think he would end up there. Would he piss off the entire family if he went to Tennessee? Because then that's the Peyton influence. I think he's going to stay somewhere in the South. I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't go to some school in Louisiana. LSU. Maybe he doesn't want to be close to home. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just worried that he might have an average year, and that's all Meyer needs to give an extension. If Daniel Jones, let's say, for argument's sake, throws for 3,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and rushes for like another 300 yards, and then they give him an extension, that Joe Shane is not in control of this team. Plain and simple. Then he's not He is not in control of the organization. It is still part of John Mayer's. John Mayer still got everything in the back pocket. Tim, don't worry about week 5 of the regular season. I will have a list of college quarterbacks ready. I hope you do. I really hope you do. It's just going to be interesting. It really is. But we can't just, we have to kind of just wait and see. We have to wait and see. Why does it seem like the Dallas in either every kind of trans Giants play gets hurt recently? Why does it seem like in Dallas either a major Cowboy player gets hurt recently? That's actually a good question, because it does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? It does, if you think about it. I didn't even think about that. You're kind of right. I don't know. It's a good question, Zach. Archie Manning goes to Mississippi State. Why wouldn't you go to LSU? That's my question. Why not go to LSU? Stay in Louisiana. Why not? I think that would work. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would like to see him come north. You know what would be interesting? Go to like Florida State. Florida State hasn't had a great quarterback since Jameis Winston. Florida has a great quarterback since I remember last time there was a great quarterback coming out of Florida. I mean, I know Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl, but then you got people like Chris Leak, Danny Warfel, Jesse Palmer. So they haven't really a great quarterback coming out through there. I don't know. That's actually a good question, Zach. Zach is laughing. Zach's just having a good time. We're all just having a good time here. Sitting here wearing my Buddy Thunderstruck t-shirt. Buddy Thunderstruck is legendary. He's got a picture next to awesome in the dictionary. They used to be on the net. Buddy Thunderstruck was a Netflix show. Well, I made one season. Good season. Good show, though. Someone asked me yesterday. They said, Tim, and that's what people do when they ask me a question. They say, Tim, what do you think of Leonard Williams? And I thought it was interesting because I didn't understand what he meant by the question. I was like, what do you mean what I think of Leonard Williams? I think everyone knows what I think of Leonard Williams. He's the king of the almost sack.
King of the almost sack.
And they said, how do you think he fits or feels into the Wink system? And I don't think he does. I've said this a million times. I don't think he fits into the Wink system. He is not a Calais Campbell. He is not, he's not a Juden. He's not a sack guy outside of his 1 year. He's not a guy that will collapse the middle of the pocket. I think Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau fit the system better. But I think he is going to still have to be a cog to this team. Is that like a slight against him? No. But he's not Aaron Donald. Giants Claus said, does Urban Meyer ever coach again? Yeah, probably. Pee-wee football. PAL League. Urban Meyer will get another shot. He will never get another shot in the pros, but he will get a shot again and coach somewhere in college. Someone's going to take a chance with him. There have been plenty of college coaches who over the years have done stupid things and still went back and got jobs. Just to be random, Archie Manning to Syracuse. That would be random. Was it Don McPherson? It's like the last big Syracuse quarterback. That would be random. That's like saying, I think he should go to Rutgers. That would be random. What does James says? If we extend DJ, when I ordered my white Vic Buffalo jersey, I will see you guys in a couple of seasons. If we extend DJ, I'm not worried about you, James, because you'll be around. Because it's not gonna happen. Why? And I've said this a million times. Why, if you are Brian Dable or even Deshane, you're not gonna want to win or lose to someone else's guy. Archie to Louisiana Tech. Rocco, how about Rocco's school for typewriter? How about Rocco's typewriter school for women? Why not? Oh, you'll hurt Archie to Duke. Oh, Archie to Duke would hurt. He's not going to Duke. He's not going to Duke. That'd be funny. That would be funny. Though. Urban Meyer took too many shots in Cleveland. I mean, Urban's going to be fine. Urban, you know what? I have a feeling that I have a feeling that he's going to go work at a network, probably the SEC network, for like a year or two. Then some college is gonna some team is gonna need him or need a big name coach. Look at Rick Pitino in basketball in college. Until the last scandal, he was always getting a job. Always. I like Levy from Kentucky, but he's got tits for tat acts like Shockey on the field. Giants quarterback. You know what? You keep hearing that he is going to go to the Giants. You hear extensively, like I said, everyone, he's going to the Giants. I don't know if he's going to the Giants. I don't even know what the record is yet. Are one of the big two going this year? I don't know. Hell, I'd say Malik Willis is going to go in the first round, late in the first round. He went in the third. Same spot that Russell Wilson went in. But I'm not going to say anything. I have my Malik Willis jersey. If Archie went to Duke, Meyer would find an excuse not to draft him. Hey-oh. If he went, he's not going to Duke. I know everyone's joking. He's not going to Duke. I mean, that would be. But wouldn't it be interesting, though, if he did go to like some random college? What is it? UAB? or if he what's the school that Lane Kiffin? Florida Tech? It'd be weird if he went somewhere like that. Greg, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, just sound like Psycho. Shower scene. Sorry. What's up, Greg? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's well. Is it possible that Watson never plays in Cleveland? Well, there's no legal issue in reference to criminal charges. And he's probably going to settle everything in reference to civil suits. He will get suspended. You would think probably for 8 games. And they're already talking about trying to dump Baker over into Carolina. So I'm gonna say that I'm pretty much gonna say that it's he's okay. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Yeah, if Archie goes to Duke, I'll be traumatized. If Archie goes to Duke, I think we'll all be traumatized. T-Brad in the house. What's up, T-Brad, man? I miss you. You and Greg. Where's Big Al? It's not a party unless Big Al is here. James is in the room. We got Mike Lee in the room. We got James in the room. We got the T-Brad in the room. We got John in the room. We got Giants Clown in the room. We got Mr. Alvarez in the room. We got everyone in the room today. Giants 34 dropping some knowledge. Make sure you hit the like. I just blew up my voice doing my T-Brad. What's up, T-Brad? Chattanooga. Chattanooga, Tennessee. T-Brad, how you been, Tim? It's been a minute. It's been more than a minute, man. It seemed like it's been like a year. I feel like I talked to T-Brad, and I don't know how long, man. T-Brad, hopefully you're going to join into the contest. Those that do not know, we have 1 Coaches Club ticket left to give away. You will be hanging out with OGR Sports, subscriber James Williams, co-host Extraordinary at Times, and myself. And you'll be on the field when I drop the 40-yard bomb. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Houston PD detective testifies she believes Watson committed crimes per report 7 hours ago. Yeah, but the problem is you have to. The Houston PD detective can say whatever they want. A grand jury needs to indict. And until a grand jury indicts, nothing's going to happen. Did you get, of course I got my, I actually wore it. I don't have it down here, but well, maybe I do have it down here. No, I don't. I wore it a couple streams back. I got the blue one. Of course I got it. I got that like 2 days after. 2 days after he got drafted, I got that one. Does Notre Dame have any shot at week 1 at Oklahoma? Please say yes. Sure. Yes. Why not? It's June. It's June. So anyone has a shot in June. I've said this a million times before in college football and in the NFL. Everyone is undefeated in June. Everyone's in first place. So everyone's got a shot. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what the recruiting class this year looks like at Notre Dame. Out in the shadows of touchdown Jesus. I don't know. That was a good question. But college football is not around here yet. Let's give college football a little more time before we start worrying about that. T. Brad says, everyone hit the like button, please now. Thank you. Hit the like button, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. Trying to find something to do here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just pushing buttons here. I love my new. I don't know if anyone's heard. I don't know if anyone's. All alcohol. If you're over 21 and you are going, you will be buying me alcohol. That's a rule. I love it. Next, I have my NFL Films music now. So now I can do the voice of John Fazenda. Body. A certain magic still lingers on the name. About duels on the ice and the frozen snow. That's my new NFL music. What's up, Montana? Where you been? Where you been? Another one dropping in the house. It's like old home week. We got the T Brad. We got LJ. We got James. We got the Zach Tag. I'm doing good, man. How are you been doing? Everyone seems very optimistic about the Giants. Me, not so much. I want to see it happen. You know I'm not optimistic, T Brad. You know I'm not. I'm not, it's optimism. It's combined with realism. And the realism is we win 5 games. I think the season's successful. If we build talent, then I think it's successful. You know what I'm going to do for you, T-Brad? Watch this. Watch this, T-Brad. Ready? Watch this. Boom! Dropped it in there. Hiding in Montana. Why are you hiding? You don't need to hide in Montana. Don't hide. It's all good. I wanted to move to Montana. No kamikazes, red deaths, or blue Windex. I got to drive. It's a long drive. I got to drive. OGR is getting a hotel. OGR is probably smart. Tim, since we are going to win meaningless games and take us out of the top 5, would you take a chance to spend Spencer Rattler? You know, it's funny. I'm rubbing my head because I kind of had a feeling. Jeff's in the room. What's up, Jeff? And Jose B, I forgot he was in here as well. Do I take Spencer Rattler? No, I don't think, unless he turns it around, maybe. Unless he turns around. Jose and Jeff is in the room, and we got T. Brad. We got everyone there. Tim, I think, hey, what do you think, Jose? 10th, we in 5 to 6, so hopefully teams will so progress, with the exceptions being Jones. I can't say no to that. I can't. I'm not going to wish that he doesn't progress, but I can't. But I see him not progressing. I really do. I really don't. Come visit. I'll take you to dinner. I wanted to move to Montana. I like the outdoors. I like the wilderness. I don't like going camping. I like being outside on my porch. You know, I live in a place where it's a you know, we got farms everywhere, and we got you know, when I sit on my porch, I can see farms. I like that. I see rolling fields. I like that stuff. But we did think about it. We actually considered moving to Montana. Tim, the program or any given Sunday.
Gotta get to work.
Any movie that's got Steamin' Willie Beeman in it.
Come on, man, come on. My name is Willie.
You gotta have Steamin' Willie Beeman. No better quarterback in any fictional league than Willie Beeman. Mark from Barbados. What's going on, man? Late to the party. Tim, how about you? How you guys doing in the chat? We're doing good, Mark. Kareem is here. What's up, Kareem? It's literally like old home week. This is like a reunion. I had to take a cough drop. You are I'm originally from Port Chester, New York. We got Kareem here. We got Mark here from Barbados. We got Montana, New York here. We got the T-Brad. We got the LJ. We got the James Williams. Ain't no party like an online Big Blue party because an online Big Blue party don't stop. Some come visit my family doesn't camp either. Yeah, I can't camp. My family's what we consider roughing it is staying like a Hilton Garden Inn. That's roughing it. We're planning on going to the mountains this sometime this summer. And I laughed though because I was hoping you would know what I meant. I was hoping you knew what I meant. And I dropped the link for the T-Brad because I missed the T-Brad. What's going on, my brother? What are you doing?
Hey, man, nothing much, man. Just hanging out, man. Just hanging out.
Well, like I said, it's like home week today. I'm very excited because, like, you know, it's when you finally get to talk to people you haven't seen in a little bit because it's been a little while since since the draft.
Yeah,
I guess we really
maybe one time since the draft.
I don't even think that. I got a question for you right off the bat. As you're Roman, what did you think?
A glass of wine.
You looking for a glass? You're looking for? Don't worry, I'm covered. What did you think of or did you think of anything about the OTAs at the mandatory minicamp? Was there anything there that you read about or saw that you were like, you know, I'm either down with this or I'm not, or it just doesn't matter?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people. I really don't pay that much attention. I may hear, hey, Wandale Robinson's looking good. He's running great routes and blah, blah, blah. But these people
you didn't hear that.
Yeah, the people are paid to keep us optimistic. These paid beat writers are paid to keep us somewhat optimistic. Like, you can't continue to be a beat writer and get inside information and just blast people who haven't done anything. So they're going to give you false hope, and I don't want that. I'll be able to tell once they play in a real game, preseason. Well, real stuff.
That's what I've been saying, and you can tell you haven't been following it because the beat writers this year were only allowed into OTAs and mandatory minicamping once a week. Everything else came for the Giants in-house media.
Exactly.
So they were more than just, you know, spitting out sunshine and roses, because they were beyond optimistic.
Exactly.
Now no, go ahead.
That's like thinking the lady at the poppycockers really cares.
You mean she's not in love with you?
No.
She's in love with you until the 20s run out.
Yeah.
Then she's on to her next husband.
Or until I'm done with my ATM visits. Like, once I'm done going to the ATM, it's pretty much over. That relationship ends once the ATM says insufficient funds. That
relationship ended quickly. It says low balance.
Yeah. I'm like, your ATM doesn't accept fives? Jeez, what kind of establishment are you running?
I got some quarters in the cup holder. I'll be right back if that helps any. Oh my God. James Williams says, T-Brad, what's good, brother? I mean, it's I mean, what is your for Daniel Jones? What is your what is your breaking point? What is your is there a breaking point for optimism, or are you just kind of just want to see what it is with this new system with Kafka and everything else? Do you expect anything different from the last 3 seasons?
I expect that we'll be drafting a quarterback first round no matter where we pick. That's what I expect. That is my level of expectation. And here's the thing. I, for one, have never seen a lot of Daniel Jones. And I mean, have I seen good games? Yeah, I've seen good games. But you have
to give him the Saints game.
Yeah, you have to have consistency. That's what makes you great to be, or even good, to have consistency. And the fact that he's got so many people riding for him, like, yeah, were all these things bad? Yes, all these things were bad. Offensive line were bad. Bad decisions were made around him. Yes, I get it. But his stats are still like 50 touchdowns and 49 fumbles.
Right.
Just look at that and say, that's what I'm looking forward to. More. Tell me you want more of that.
I don't.
Thank you.
I can't tell you that because I don't.
Tell me
I don't want any of that.
Nobody wants those stats for their quarterback at any time period ever. So,
well, maybe in the 50s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely in the 30s when they were running the wishbone.
But the 49 fumbles that'll hurt.
That'll make anyone. Is there anything that Daniel Jones can do?
49 turnovers.
49.
Well, you know what? He has to show exceptional progress in every aspect of what he lacks, because Dan Jones has an arm. We know it.
Right.
He's got decent speed to get away from somebody. He's not going to hit no moves on you, but if he gets in front of you, you have to.
He gets rolling downhill.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to use the speed to catch him or wait for the turf monster to drop him. Either way. But it's his processing. It's his decision making. It's him being able to let the ball go before the receiver is open.
Right.
Because you get people
creating your own throwing window.
Right. People are like, oh yeah, what did they say? Oh yeah, Daniel Jones, wide receivers can't get open. Great quarterbacks is what you want your first round quarterback to be. Great quarterbacks, get them open. I know what route you're going to run, so the defensive back doesn't know. I'll put it right in this window, and you run there.
Right.
I used to see a lot of great throws from Aaron Rodgers and a lot of people. And they're like, man, he threw the ball before the receiver even turned around. Right. That's timing. That's consistency.
That's timing. That's understanding where your guy is going to be.
And the fact that people say that Daniel Jones is one of the hardest workers, and people think he's a great worker, and this is where you're at in year what? 4. This is where you're playing in year what? You see what I'm saying? So that means it's all that hard work, and maybe a certain part of you just can't get it, and that happens to the best of them. There were quarterbacks I thought were going to be good NFL players. I like Brady Quinn. I thought would be a good NFL player. Yeah. I really like Brady Quinn at Notre Dame, and I hate Notre Dame. I'm a Michigan fan. I absolutely hate Notre Dame. But sometimes people just don't pan out. Going to basketball, I thought Childress from Georgia Tech or Wake Forest. Childress, oh man, he was one of my favorite guards.
Right.
And I was like, man, how come he didn't pan out in the NBA? Hey, certain things just don't work.
Yeah.
Certain things but this system, I'm optimistic to see the system. Hopefully he can make some nice progress, because he seems like a very nice kid, but I just hope he can make some progress. As a Giants fan, I want everyone to know I'm not rooting for this kid to do as bad as I'm saying. That's what I'm expecting.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
I'm not rooting for that to happen. I want him. So if he goes out there and he's winning and kicking butt, and I root for him, don't act like, oh no, you wanted him to fail. No, I tell.
Well, that's what you're gonna get.
He's gonna do. But I'll tell you this: what I'll do is I'll make an apology on his Twitter and I got to come up with a good enough stat line to make it an apology. You know what?
You're safe. You're not going to need.
You know what we'll do? I won't even make it on the stats. if he gets re-up for a 5th year, if he gets re-up or franchise tag, he did enough to save himself because this quarterback class coming in is nobody's waiting.
Yeah.
This quarterback class is very deep with some studs.
It's going to be. Mark Thompson's got a good question. Will the unproven pass rush be good enough to cover for the unproven secondary? I looked at that question. I was thinking to myself, it kind of fits into my Leonard Williams take a minute ago, because you don't know what Aziz is going to do. You don't know what Thibodeau is going to do. You don't know what Quincy Roche is going to do. You don't know what Leonard Williams is going to do. You don't know what Dalvin Tomlinson's going to do. And playing a 3-4 system, it's going to be interesting when Adoree Jackson is your CB1, and then you have a host of others sitting in the second, third, and the slot position.
I will say this. If there's anything that I'm optimistic about, it is our potential at pass rush. Our potential to get a pass rush.
Yes.
Do we have the depth that we need? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm very excited, and that's probably the most thing I'm optimistic and look forward to seeing. I'm more looking forward to seeing the defense rather than the offense, because I got so tired of that bend but don't break, and we bend and we get all right, 1st and 10, we 2 yards. All right, then 2nd down, they get a yard. 3rd and 7, they get 12 yards. It's like, what the hell was the first 2 plays for?
Right.
And I want to see us be able to dictate to an offense what they can do, not them just picking us apart. So, and that starts with a pass rush. So to answer that question, I think if our defense is good, that's how it's going to be good. I can't predict. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it an optimistic 7.5.
7 point. What? That's
pretty optimistic.
That's pretty.
It will make up.
Kareem says OTAs only matter in hindsight. Montana, if you ever do come out to visit, look us up. You can hear my band. I'll come out to Montana one day. James Williams got a great comment. He says, y'all know the same guy who thinks the grow up poppycockers love him thinks we're winning 11 games this year. I think you're right.
No, I didn't say we're winning 11 games.
He's saying if the guy that thinks the girls at poppycockers are in love with them think the Giants are winning 11 games.
Oh, yeah. If the Giants get 11 wins, I might throw a parade through my house. I might get a float and just throw a Giants parade through my house.
If the Giants win 11 games, I will build a float and come to your house.
Yeah, okay. We'll go right down the street. I'll get one of those permits, and we'll go right down the street. And,
I will build a paper mache Daniel Jones and rent a truck and drive it to your house and drive. If you get the permit, we will drive it all around the town.
I'm with it, but I don't think we'll need the permit.
I don't think we need the permit either. And I don't think I need to worry about having to learn how to use paper mache. Mike Lee says, I don't want a hard worker. I want a smart worker.
Absolutely.
I think you're right.
Want results.
The question about
wants those results.
That's all you want. The question about the defense, though. Wink does not have the pieces that he had in Baltimore. He doesn't have Marcus Peters. He doesn't have the kid that's played at safety. He doesn't have the other all pro on the other side. Hell, he doesn't even have Jimmy Smith here. And he doesn't have the pass rush. Do you think that, and I've said this before, do you think that he is going to still just throw caution to the wind and play the same defense that he did in Baltimore and was successful in 2020, 19, and 18 and just say, hell high water, I'm going to do what I do because this is what got me here into the league, even though he doesn't have the talent. And it probably is going to get him in a lot of trouble if he gets burned quick.
I think it's different, even though Baltimore has had more recent success than the Giants. New York media is beastly.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's gonna come here to fizzle out, because even though we're realistic, there are Giants fans who expect us to be out there just crushing it.
Yeah.
Because we had a decent first round of the draft. They expect us to be out there crushing it. So I think he's going to work with what he has, still playing the way he plays. Now, maybe his percentage of blitzes will come down. Maybe the schemes will get more tricky, where have you. But I think he's going to let them build up to be better corners. Like Holmes, I like a lot. I don't think he can play on the outside, but Holmes, the slot corner, I like him a lot. And then we get to see what this guy, Williams, I think his name is.
You got Robinson, Williams, Cordell Flott.
Right. So I think it's going to be a lot of things where you'll probably see Thibodeau in coverage, Ujulari in coverage from time to time. It's going to be about playing a little bit tricky because you expect so much pressure. But until they get all the pieces, especially a corner for the style he plays, he's still going. Person can't avoid being himself. He's going to be himself. You know what I mean?
Like you're saying. Yeah, he's gonna.
He's going to be himself.
He's going to just do what he does because it's what got him there. What I worry about is people forget about the second tenure of Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo won a Super Bowl for the Giants because of his defense, and he got fired from the Giants because of his defense, because he didn't change his style and his philosophy, because he basically did what he figured got him there the first time, and he got fired.
And that was one of my favorite defenses.
Me too. And that's you get the NASCAR, you got everything else, and I get concerned that there's going to be so much on Wink to be that attacking aggressive style defense that these young corners, especially early on, are going to get toasted. They're going to get Elvis Patterson. They are just going to get ripped apart. And you really, if you think about it, in your safety position outside of Xavier McKinney, who are you comfortable with in the safety positions?
I guess we're going to have to go with the rookie.
Well, Belton's going to be an all-pro, evidently. People.
Yeah, I mean, is Love hurt?
No, Love's not hurt, but people forget. Love got benched last year at safety. Got benched for a bunch of games and didn't come back until they had injuries, and they played him in the slot.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm very interested in seeing what the guy from Kentucky, Yusef Corker, is that?
Yeah, Corker, the undrafted free agent.
Yes, I'm very, because he was at one point in the process considered like a fourth round guy.
The only problem with Corker is he can't cover.
Ouch.
I mean, he's an in the box safety. I think he'll be more like a Logan Ryan type, more of a Peppers type. But his coverage skills at this point in time, I would say, would be a suspect.
Yeah, so you know what? We're just going to find out who's going to do it, because it doesn't look good at this point.
What are you talking about? We'll go play.
Yeah, you know what? I just turned 49 last weekend. These hips don't turn over like they used to. I feel like the Tin Man. I need somebody to slide some oil to me.
Oh, I know. It's called arthritis. It doesn't get any better. I'm older than you, and it doesn't get any better. It gets worse.
But we above ground, so I'll take it.
Listen, every day you're above ground is a better day. Oh, G Knockhead says you don't have to worry about that because Daniel Jones isn't that good. It's too much pressure for him to have an MVP type season. If he had an MVP type season, I think we would die. I think we'd fall over. I think we'd be under the ground. Because
if he has an MVP type season, here comes the parade.
I'm not building a Daniel Jones float.
I love a parade.
I will come to your house, but I'm not building a Daniel Jones float.
Hey, what we'll do is we'll go on tour, we'll rent a car and dance it all up. We'll get a convertible.
Let's just go drink on the porch and say we had a parade.
That works for me too.
I'm good. I'm good with that. James says no matter what DJ does this year, we have to draft a quarterback. Yeah, I don't disagree.
And that's when the season starts. When college football season starts, we're going to start ranking. We're going to start ranking our quarterbacks like once a month. We start ranking them.
What week do you think the Tyrod Taylor plays?
Ooh.
What week does the OG QB come in?
Tyrod only comes in if we have a chance for the playoffs.
Really?
That's my thinking.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be like Daniel Jones plays horrible the first 3 games. And like we're 0-3, yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
Because we're not technically tanking, then we'll get him in there because we want to see the offense work. But if we're floating around mids or whatever, hey Tyrod, don't even worry about it. Take the free money, buddy. We'll go on. We want to look like we're not tanking, and because it's easier to tank with Daniel Jones in the game and say, look, we believe in Daniel Jones. He just has 6 interceptions. Yeah, but we're gonna work on that this week, and I'm sure we can get that down. Yeah, of course you can get that down. I can get the 6 interceptions down. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can take a sack like the best stuff.
I can take a sack like nobody. I might not be able to get back up, but I can take a sack like anybody.
Yeah.
Mark Times says that I think we were the bend not break because our pass rush wasn't good enough. Tips will be the answer. Adding him to the team of Leo, Aziz, Smith, and Quincy Roche.
And let's not forget the guy from Clemson. Why am I forgetting his name?
You know what the funny thing is? I just forgot.
It's not Watkins. He played with Watkins. Clemens, Lawrence. That's his name, Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
Yeah, Lawrence. That's
where we're going. That's where we're going. We're going with Lawrence. Zach, where are you? Google that because I can't think of his name either. And I'm not even drinking. Eric says, I'm putting 1,500 on the Giants winning the NFC East at 9-1 odds. Would you do that?
You got a 25% chance of getting it right by the numbers.
I don't even think that's. I understand a 25% chance. I'm not 100% sold on that one.
Now the analytics will probably say otherwise, but old school numbers and averages, you got a 25%.
You got a 25% chance. You're right. And we got a 50-50 chance that we're going to win every game.
Hey, guess what? If you don't put any money down, you got a 100% chance of getting no money. So hey.
But would you and I'm not picking on Eric, but would you drop 1,500 on the Giants winning the East?
Not with the money that I have. No, thank you. I mean, it's worth the bet. Like if you're betting something that's not gonna hurt you, like me, I'd rather put 1,500 in like cryptocurrency. But if you rather than that bet, but if you want to take a long shot, 9-1 is still 9-1.
It's a big payout if you win.
Yeah, 9-1. And again, who are we scared of?
I'm scared of Dallas. Yeah. I'm scared of Philadelphia. Phil, come on, you gotta give credit to Philadelphia.
I give credit to Philadelphia, but every year,
all-pro wide receiver.
Every year is different. When you get Brown in there, you still gotta adjust for his attitude. Don't get me wrong. I still consider the Eagles and the Cowboys the upper echelon. They're at a different tier of the league than we are. So I'm not arguing are we going to beat them. I'm just saying I'm not necessarily scared of them because they got to come back and repeat what they did, because what the Eagles actually did was outplay their expectations, because they were expected to be just as bad as us.
I was shocked. I had them winning 5 games.
Right. So they outplayed their expectations. So it makes everything seem so amazing. And they turned their season around. So it also made it look doubly, dramatic. So, hey, you know what? I hope he does win that 1,500, because odds are we still may have a parade right here in New Jersey.
I'm going to play a game here. It's the A.J. Brown game. I'm going to say a wide receiver, and you're going to tell me if you would rather have that wide receiver or A.J. Brown.
Well, I'm probably going to say A.J. Brown over.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Kenny G.
Please give me A.J. Brown, please.
Sterling Shepard.
A.J. Brown.
Kadarius Toney.
Can I poll the crowd or get a 50-50?
No.
No. We're gonna go with A.J. Brown.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
I think we're gonna go with A.J. Brown.
This is gonna be a tough one.
Okay.
David Sills.
Well, he's got the youth and
He's been on the
we're gonna
practice
do
squad for
AJ.
3
We're gonna have
years.
to do AJ Brown again. I like consistency. AJ Brown.
You like consistency. So AJ Brown was not a bad pickup for Philadelphia.
Not at all. I mean,
Even with his attitude.
Yeah, I think talent wise, Eagles really crushed it getting to Kobe Dean in the third round and
Jordan Davis.
making the play that they made for, which was smart because of the older Fletcher Cox going to have to eventually move on, and having him to groom Davis is really smart. I've always given the Eagles credit lately. As of lately, I'd say the last 5-6 years that their front office really makes pretty smart decisions compared to like the 90s and 80s Eagles. They're making really smart decisions. So I understand it. And that we can't even forget they got the Devontae Smith.
We forget
over
about
there
that.
too.
We forget about that.
Yeah, having him as your number 2 ain't a bad problem.
No, it's not an issue. And I'm concerned about the Eagles, because of the fact that they do have AJ Brown, they do have Devontae Smith, and they are going to be going up against Dory Jackson, maybe Aaron Robinson.
Then now we go back to your earlier question. You think we're gonna play passive in zones, or are we gonna blitz and hope the quarterback like Hurts makes some bad throws?
This is my thing about Jalen Hurts. This is my thing. If what's his name does not drop the ball at the 1 in the end zone, we're not having this conversation about Jalen Hurts. Because then he's 2-0 against the Giants. And he has a comeback win in a 2-minute offense against the Giants.
Jalen Hurts is one of the most interesting quarterbacks that I looked at coming out of college, because when he went to Alabama, even though he was winning national championships, I was like, he's never going to play in the NFL. I never thought he was an NFL quarterback. I thought he was just an athlete at Alabama because, who can't throw at Alabama with all those weapons? But when he went to Oklahoma and he was just a different quarterback, boom, boom, throw, boom, boom, throw. I was like, whoa. Then you start realizing that sometimes you're a product of the system that you're running. It's not that you can't do these other things. You're running a system that wants you to play this way. So it's like, he can kind of play. And the Eagles got him cheap in the second round, I think.
I agree. Tuto with the super chat, and I have no idea what it says. I'm going to read this, and it's in Italian, I assume, and it says, Tim is awesome. Greatest content creator there ever was for the New York Giants. The wonderfulness of T-Brad coming on and helping us make this show even better is awesome to listen to.
Oh, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, brother.
That's my interpretation. East West Mod says, is it tanking or is it just really, really bad?
It's really, really bad, but you want to make it look like when you're tanking, you want to make, even though we're bad, you want to make it look like we're being optimistic. So that's why you keep Daniel Jones in there. Like, yeah, keep Daniel Jones in there. We know we're going to get CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be winning those close games.
I think we're going to blow it. I think we're going to lose. I think some people have said it before. I think we're going to win some games towards the end that we're not supposed to win and end up with like 5-6 wins. And then turn around and not have the opportunity to get a top 5 pick.
Listen, I'll tell you like this. That's when Saquon Barkley will probably go on one of these package deals with multiple first round. We can move up to get quarterback. How many teams, if there's 5 quarterbacks there, how many teams need quarterback that bad and will be in a position to pass us or be worse than us? You got Houston.
Yep.
Let's say Jacksonville's worse than us. They're not taking a quarterback.
No.
Who else out there really sucks? I need to go on Tankathon and take a look. But
Giants.
How many teams? Yeah, the Giants suck. Even let's say the Jets. Let's say the Jets don't play good. They got their quarterback.
But wait a minute. What if the Jets don't play well and Zach Wilson has a Daniel Jones year 2 type season.
Ooh.
So maybe they looking? Are they looking?
You don't let a Bryce Young get by you. You don't let some of these guys get by you.
That's what I'm saying. Do you look at that quarterback situation though?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. You can't just and I think if you look at the Giants, and I know what Gettleman was doing. I made this pick. I'm being criticized because of this pick. I'm going to stick with this pick, and I'm going to live and die with this pick career-wise. And now he's gone. But he had a chance to get Herbert. Yeah. He had a chance to get Justin Fields. He had it because you know how bad someone sucks. Like when Arizona traded Josh Rosen for Kyler Murray, I thought that was a bold move. No one had done that. Drafted a quarterback first round 1 year and go to next year and do the same thing. I can't remember anyone ever doing that. And they were like, look, we see him in practice. We know how much he sucks. Yeah, we know how much he sucks. Let's move on now and fix this problem. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But it's a lot of quarterbacks I like in next year's draft. The quarterback Levi out of Kentucky.
Out of Kentucky.
Van Dyke out of Miami. He's really good. And I know nobody agrees with me on this. Sam Hartman and Wake Forest can ball, man. Really? Sam Hartman and Wake Forest, he can ball. He just doesn't have that height. He reminds me of like a Drew Brees type, like a little bit more athletic Drew Brees, but still not athletic.
Okay. I could
because Drew Brees was no stature.
No,
you know what I mean?
Drew Brees was no stature, but also Drew Brees was would Drew Brees be Drew Brees if he went to Miami? You know, because he was coming off the shoulder injury in San Diego. The market was kind of dried up for him. He ends up with the Saints, but is he because he was the scuttlebutt? It was Miami and the Saints, but Miami didn't want to give him the money because of the injury.
Right. But I think that Brees played good for the Chargers, but then when they got Rivers, it's like they had to make a decision, and it's not like they're going to say, "Hey, we got Rivers, so we can keep Brees and trade Rivers." You know what I'm saying? You don't do it that way.
We got a super chat. Hold on there a minute. My teammates want to call Super League Rugby and Six Nations play, where only the elite rugby players and the Spartans show up and battle on the battlefield. Brad and I were going to play rugby the other day, but we decided that
PlayStation or Xbox.
Xbox.
Okay, yeah.
Xbox, man, Xbox.
Yeah,
I can't afford a PlayStation 5.
Shoot, I stopped playing football probably in my 30s. Like, nah.
Well, I'm going to be
I got to go to work.
I'm dropping a 40-yard bomb on the field August 21st. Are you aware of that, of course?
Yeah, I just heard about that today.
Well, yeah, we're giving away the Coaches Club ticket for the 21st game. It's going to be James Williams, OGR Sports, and myself. I'm going to stand on the 35-yard line and throw a 40-yard bomb to James Williams 5 yards deep in the end zone on the field after the game.
Like it.
And we're going to film it. And we're going to do something for charity.
How do you win it? How do you win the ticket?
You have to be a subscriber.
Okay, I think I got that part down.
And you have to bribe me. I mean, no, you have to do something. You have to do. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided. I haven't figured that part out yet. It's a contest that I don't know what the contest is.
Yeah, your contest is going to be something like, yes, I want you to name all 80s linebackers in alphabetical order.
Go. Ooh, that's a good one. And I couldn't do it in alphabetical order. I can probably get most.
Everybody's going to Google. Yeah, everybody's going to Google that one anyway.
But you can't do it with Google. Mark wants to know, is it me or is Brad always eating?
Yes.
I thought he was always drinking.
But technically I was drinking.
Yeah.
So I broke the trend today. Thank you.
You broke the trend today. Let's see here. Montana, New York wants to know, what's the odds what's the Vegas odds on DJ being a Commander next season? If Daniel Jones leaves the Giants, or when Daniel Jones leaves the Giants, what do you think the market value in 2022 is going to be for him?
Daniel Jones will be the next Nate Peterman. He'll just keep getting jobs all around the league. And
so he's going to suck in Buffalo and then go someplace else.
Yeah, he's just right. Exactly. he's just gonna go all around the league. I don't think he's gonna get another starting opportunity anywhere.
Right.
And again, that's if if the Giants aren't good, but he played, and I don't know how that can happen. But if the Giants aren't good, but he plays very good, again, I don't know how that can happen.
Right. Tyrod Taylor.
Then he'll get an opportunity.
Okay.
But if he's playing his same game, if he's playing 15 or 20% better than he played last year, he sucks.
Right.
So that lets you know how much he has. That lets you know.
I was like, yes. You're right.
But that lets you know how much more he has to do to get to that level to get that money. But he's going to be in the league, though. Like, sucks for the NFL is like outstanding for anybody else. But, he's but when I say sucks, please keep it on the realm of the NFL. I'm not saying he's not an NFL quarterback. I'm saying he's not an NFL starting quarterback.
Well, you figure there's anywhere between like 90 and 96 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right. He's that good.
Yeah. So he's somewhere in the top 96.
Right.
I'm waiting for someone. Look at the chat going. Someone saying he's 97.
somewhere in between 40 and 96 is right where Daniel Jones is.
Liam's got a good question. It's not a question he has. He says Jalen Hurts is underwhelming. I'm going to ask the T-Brad this question. And we did the AJ Brown thing a minute ago. I'm gonna name a quarterback, and you tell me yes or no between that quarterback and Daniel Jones. Who would you rather have? You ready?
I'm ready.
Jalen Hurts
or Daniel Jones?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna go with Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Dak Prescott.
This is rough. But I'm going to go with Dak Prescott.
Carson Wentz.
I'm also going to go with Carson Wentz, but I want to explain my decisions.
Okay.
So people don't think I'm just bashing Daniel Jones.
Sounds like you're
all the other quarterbacks you mentioned have playoff experience, and I'd like to, just judge them on their body of work.
Right. Tyler Heineke. Backup quarterback now with the Commanders, Tyler Heineke.
I have the right.
Where's the bar?
To remain silent. I think I might have a right to remain silent because
Tyler Heineke.
It sounds so disrespectful to take Tyler Heineke over Daniel Jones. It's like I kind of just want to take Daniel Jones just because. But based on how they both played last year, Tyler Heineke played better.
Tyler. All right. I'm going to give you an easy one. Cooper Rush.
I don't even know who that is. We're going to go
Cooper Rush Jones. Is the backup quarterback for Dak Prescott.
We're going to go with Daniel Jones there.
Hey, Cooper Rush was on the Giants at one point too.
I'm not going to disrespect Daniel Jones like that.
All right. Last one. This is I think is an interesting one because I had a problem with this one, but what my initial answer was.
I know what you're gonna say.
Jared Goff.
Ooh.
I did a list. Wait before you answer. I did a list of 32 starting quarterbacks, and I said the only quarterback I would not take over Daniel Jones was Jared Goff. And then I looked at his stats and his games in Detroit and the talent he had. And I actually went back and changed my mind and said I would take Jared Goff over Daniel Jones.
Are we okay?
Are we still on the air?
I'm going to say this. The reason I would take Daniel Jones, and I know Goff did good, Detroit, whatever. The reason I take Daniel Jones is Goff is that much older than Daniel Jones, and he's just finding it. And it wasn't outstanding. So kind of for the upside part of it is why I would be more interested in Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is better.
Daniel Jones is 25. Jared Goff is 27. Here's a question for you. Would this be considered a successful season if it was Daniel Jones? Let's say it's completion rate of 67%, 3,245 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions.
That's a success. That's a success.
No, that is Jared Goff's stats from last year. And in only 14 games.
I'm not playing by the numbers. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
Yeah, no, man. No, man. You're not. You're not flying. You gotta. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Everyone wants to point out Daniel Jones's numbers. They always want to point out the Saints game. They always want to point out the first Tampa game. But as soon as you bring up numbers that are better from quarterbacks that they consider are worse, it's all of a sudden like it's like mind blowing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I knew Goff's numbers were better because I remember you having this conversation on your cast before, and you're like, "Look, these are Goff's numbers." So I think I was on one of the streams where you're kind of like, "Hey, I got to take it back because
I did
this would be considered successful." But it's just, I don't know. It's just the eye test. You know what I'm saying? And
well, Goff is not a pretty quarterback.
But again, maybe I'm being a little bit of a homer because I know what the stats say. And I don't want to jinx it. But again, who knows what we got with this Daniel Jones thing? I like to look on Saturday who our quarterback's going to be on Sunday next year. So I'll be watching college football heavily.
Last question like this. You got to pick one or the other.
Oh boy.
Better haircut, Jared Goff or Daniel Jones?
I don't know. I don't know what either one of them really look like. Like, did Daniel Jones even get a haircut? Like, I don't know.
Daniel Jones always looks like he's got the bowl haircut. You put the bowl in his head, he's got to cut around it.
You know what Daniel Jones looks like? He looks like he's going to be the next. He looks like he's going to fizzle out of the NFL and be a GM, like in 10 years. That's what Daniel Jones looks like.
That's actually not a bad. Analogy.
Somebody who will fizzle out, get like a couple of assistant jobs, and work his way up to GM. That's what he seems like.
James Williams says, "I wish Leonard Williams had an appetite for snacks the same way my brother T. Brad likes his wings."
I ain't got no wings today.
He goes, now I want some wings.
We want to work. Yeah, we want to work this bit, and you let me know.
I'll
sacrifice eating wings for you guys.
Man, Taylor, New York's got a good question. Would you take Baker Mayfield over Daniel Jones?
Nope. Same.
Really?
Baker Mayfield. I'm not saying Baker Mayfield's not better than Daniel Jones. I'm saying Baker Mayfield is just as unproven as Daniel Jones, and I'm harder on Baker Mayfield because you had Odell Beckham. Like, he had wide receivers around him. Landry, he had a running game. He had a lot of things that Daniel Jones didn't have. And Baker Mayfield was crazy inconsistent. And I feel like, let's say Cleveland trades us Baker Mayfield for Daniel Jones. How excited are you? How pumped are you? Like, have we found our quarterback of the future? Or are we watching the season the same way? Like, man, I hope this works out. And I just don't think getting Baker Mayfield would change anything. But if you're asking me who's better, I'll say Baker Mayfield. But that's just, again, I'm going with the stats. But it's kind of hard to go with the stats when he has so much options to work with in Cleveland.
Well, yes and no. 18, that was a bad Cleveland team that Baker turned around after taking over the reins for Tyrod Taylor. You had another bad Cleveland team that was mismanaged by a coach that then came over to the Giants in 19. And then they put it together in 2020, and they had a bad season in 2021. They went 11-5 in 2020. He threw for 3,500, 26-8.
Mm-hmm. But again, what I say, I like that consistency. Then you regress the next season. If Derek Stingley would have played like he played his freshman year, he probably would have went number 2 overall in the draft.
But he did regress the next season, but he played with a torn labium in his non-throwing shoulder for 14 weeks. And Baker Mayfield needs to throw the ball with torque. And anyone that's played quarterback or has thrown the ball, You need to get your whole body into it. And even though it's in your non-throwing shoulder, he couldn't get the velocity, but he still played.
Right. But
Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't trade.
Gets boo-boo, and Daniel Jones may not play.
Hey, Daniel Jones played great against the Saints.
That's gonna be the team. I was waiting for Daniel Jones played great against Tampa in 19.
Yeah, I'll just pick out a handful of games in 3 years. I'll pick out maybe 3 games that he played good, but I don't know what's up with that guy, man. I just so excited who the quarterback's going to be next year.
Daniel Jones has hair like Woody in Toy Story. Okay, he does. Daniel Jones has a bad haircut. You got to hope that Tyrod takes Daniel Jones and said, listen, man, you're in New York. I mean, come on, you're single. And you do have a haircut like Woody from Toy Story.
One thing we got to hope is Tyrod's able to work his magic the same way he worked with Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen and all these other great quarterbacks. And so he can spread that magic over to Daniel Jones. Because to be honest, if Daniel Jones, if you give me my killer scenario, would be the best scenario ever, is for Daniel Jones to just find his stride and be killing it like Josh Allen this year.
Right. Well, that would be great. I mean, like I said,
That would be great.
I would not have a problem with that. I've said it before. If Daniel Jones, the only way the Giants succeed is if Daniel Jones succeeds.
You got to ball out. And
that's the only way Giants win games. Motorcycle 365 wants to know, how are you still alive? I don't know. Luck.
I keep breathing, and I just keep breathing. Everything takes care of the rest. Keep breathing, eating, drinking, saying my prayers, eat my vitamins, brother.
That's it, brother. That's it, brother. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Use the Hulkamatic blender because I screwed up and I didn't go out and get the George Foreman grill. Did you know that story that Hulk Hogan had the opportunity to act? He was brought to back in the 90s. He was brought 2 products. One was a blender and one was the George Foreman grill. Mm-hmm. And they said, which product would you like to endorse? And he endorsed the blender. And of course, the Foreman grill went to George Foreman. And now he became a bazillionaire off the George Foreman grill. And Hulk Hogan's still wrestling. I think he's still wrestling.
I don't think Hulk Hogan's struggling for money. But yeah, if you had the opportunity to just say some things about something and get paid.
He's been divorced twice now. I think he's hurting for money.
Ooh, has he?
Yeah, he got divorced from the one wife, and I think he just got divorced from the new wife.
That's good for him. At least he knows how to be consistent. Like I said, we're going for consistency.
Got to go for consistency. Divorce with Hulk Hogan, consistency with Daniel Jones. We're getting it all covered today. The OG Knockout says Daniel Jones is better than most backups in the league.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's like the valedictorian of backups.
He's just not better than Tyler Heineke.
Yeah. Like, to say he's better than a lot of backups, to say, like, I was the valedictorian of summer school. Like, okay.
When you're the best of the worst, you're still number 1.
Yeah.
That's what I always look at it. James said DJ isn't even better than the backup on his own. That's a good question. Is DJ better than Tyrod Taylor? I forgot about that.
No.
He's not been. Tyrod Taylor's 30-something years old. You were saying that Jared Goff at 27 is old compared to Taylor.
No, I'm not saying hold on. I'm not saying who we're going to build their team around. I'm not saying that. I'm saying right this second who's better. If you had a game that if we had to get in the playoffs.
If we had to get a playoffs and I had to choose between Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor, I'm taking Tyler Heineke.
Is that an audible? Was that an audible there?
That's an audible.
Okay, all right. Cool.
I Omaha'd it.
Hot route.
Omaha. Blue 62.
Over here. Yeah, but I would take Tyrod Taylor.
I would take Tyrod Taylor too. If I had to win one game, and it was a play, let's just say that everything was equal and we're playing now. If we played right now, yes, I would take Tyrod Taylor over Daniel Jones. You would have to.
Right. But you're not building the team.
He knows the Dable system.
Taylor, no.
He knows the Dable system, and he knows you would have to.
Yep. Yep.
Who is better, DJ or the old hefty lefty, Jared Lorenzen?
R.I.P.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm since he died, I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Jones. Hey, Daniel Jones won. He beat somebody out. Is that wrong?
Oh my God.
Is that wrong?
Well, you're just basing it on facts. You're not wishing anyone dead.
I'm not wishing anyone dead, but poor Jared Lorenzen passed away, so I think Daniel Jones is better.
Yeah, the best worker is the one who shows up. Yeah.
But is he better than the ghost of Jared Lorenzen?
I don't know. I'll be honest, man. I really loved Jared Lorenzen when he played for us.
I liked him in Kentucky.
Fun guy. Yeah, he was a fun guy. I liked him in Kentucky. He had a crazy arm.
Yeah.
It's like when he left the Giants, he's like, yo, now I'm really gonna see how I can expand this weight. You know what I mean? He really
do you remember, because Jared came out the same year as Eli, and there was talk in preseason that Jared might start over Eli.
Wow, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, most people forget about that.
Well, one thing I'll say this: until we got that Super Bowl, there was a lot of question marks around Eli with how he played. But I'm not comparing Eli to Daniel Jones. Please don't go there. I don't want any hate mail. But
send it to me.
Yeah, it was still a lot of question marks because you had Tiki Barber saying what he was saying and all kinds of. Until Eli really didn't get solidified until he won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And once he won that Super Bowl, it's like, okay, we can back off. We got our guy. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of ups and downs. But what you saw in Eli was progression.
Yeah. You saw improvement.
He got better every year. Okay, he's fixing this. He's fixing this. He's fixing this. And what you're seeing with Daniel Jones is like a flat line.
Yep.
You're just literally, and I know everybody wants to blame it was the offensive line, it was the equipment trainer, it was the valet, it was anybody but Daniel Jones. But like anything, you got to take some responsibility for what you're getting paid to do.
Yep.
You're getting paid to play quarterback. He could have played better. That's all I'm saying. If you don't think he could have played better, then your expectations are very low.
Here's a question for you. I lied. We got one more game question. Daniel Jones or the ghost of Jared Lorenzen?
We were going to go with Daniel Jones because he can suit up.
So that's one. There we go. We got a win for DJ. Oh my God. People just, sometimes. Tyrod Taylor hasn't done anything in his career. Tyrod Taylor has been to a playoffs. Tyler Taylor has won 25 games in his career. He's 25 and 24.
I said we need somebody to Google what Tyrod Taylor has done. Like Tyrod Taylor has had a very successful NFL career. He's just not a franchise quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor, 78 games played, 53 started, 26 and 25, over 10,000 yards, 59 touchdowns, 25 interceptions, rushed for over 894 yards with a bunch of touchdowns. And this is a guy that was between, and he's Mr. Bad Luck.
Yeah, he's not. He's just somebody who had a journeyman career, but that's still a good career because he's just not a franchise quarterback. That's okay.
But for a stopgap guy for a year,
yeah, mm-hmm.
I would have to take it.
Yep. If put it like this, if you had a team who had a good, like let's say the Chargers are making a run and Herbert goes down, people would be calling for Tyrod to fill in a spot. Like, hey, we're gonna bring in this backup. We don't know how good he is, but Tyrod, we know you can win some games. We know you can manage a game and make some plays and win the game. So we got a team around you. You got a team around you. Tyrod Taylor does pretty good. But by no means are we saying he's a franchise guy.
No, I'm not saying he's going to be here for the next 5 years. I'm just saying if you're in a spot right now to win a game in the Brian Daboll system, if the Daboll system fits Tyrod Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got to see the video I did a couple days ago because people think I'm crazy. I say bring back the wishbone. 3 running backs. One wide receiver and a tight end. Think about, Saquon Barkley, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney, Kenny G, and Bellinger. Because we all know he's Jeremy Shockey / Mark Pavaro.
Yeah, Bellinger's supposed to start, I heard. Ooh.
Yeah. So, and then you run a simpler read option for Daniel Jones and allows you to get all your playmakers on the field at once. Because you know what? There's only one slot position, and you have 2 slot receivers. Technically 3 in Sterling Shepard.
Oh, don't worry. Darius Slayton's going to turn into the next Randy Moss this year.
Of course.
We're good.
Jerry Rice.
We're good. We're good.
Jerry Rice.
I
know it sounds crazy. I'm not saying run. I'm not saying run
it, but you're saying put some plays in for.
I'm not saying run it at 50% of the time. I'm saying maybe 10, 15%.
Yeah. You have. I would say having a wishbone package would be interesting, just to the fact that it's so old school that defenses. It would take a little while to pick up on how to play that when they're used to playing so wide open.
Right.
And what kind of personnel are you going to have? You're going to have more linebackers, more DBs. What kind of personnel are you going to put up against that wishbone when you see it?
Now, see, the thing is, first of all, we're going to call it the Dable bone. And think about this for a second. If you have a suspect blocking scheme, if your line is suspect, so I'm not still sold on Glowinski because Glowinski almost got benched last year. I'm not sold on anyone else we brought in yet because of the fact you're playing certain. We have 4 new offensive line starters out of 5 positions. If you have a weaker offensive line, the wishbone is the perfect opportunity because of the fact it automatically takes 2 players from the defense out of the way because they have to commit to one of the 3 guys in the backfield. So it allows you to now go almost to a point where you can go and block only 9 guys instead of 11. Right. And it allows you to create all your guys, all your playmakers who are suspect in their own. Wan'Dale Robinson, 5'8", 100 something pounds. He's a hiccup away from, we don't know what he is, but he is a slot guy. He's a backfield guy. Kadarius Toney is not going to be a guy on the edge. He's going to be a slot guy. He's going to be a guy in the backfield. And then you line him up with Saquon Barkley. Who are you going to cover? And then you put your $72 million man on the outside. You got Bellinger, and you have Daniel Jones, who people think has speed and the ability to run. Who are you going to cover? Create mismatches and opportunities.
You sold it to me. Now we just got to get to the offensive coordinator and get this thing going, because that would actually be pretty interesting just to see it.
Right.
Just to see it. But then again, we have to be honest. We're not looking for Daniel Jones to run any type of option around the edge, read option, but not, the old school run and pitch, because that I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
People forget that a couple of years back, Cleveland won a game running the wishbone. I think it was against Miami. They won a game running the wishbone because they had a wishbone quarterback and everybody was hurt. The Giants in 87 got smoked by the 49ers when they had the Scabs playing during the strike, and Bill Walsh ran the wishbone. They beat the Giants like 41-21. I'm not saying it's something that you could do for, I'm not saying it's something you can run.
Yeah, eventually
to figure it out,
catch up and be like, but the opportunity to, because now you got a running back in the backfield and he's blocking, holding a block and releasing and getting in the passing areas, and you have to do a lot of pocket moving and things like that. But I like it myself.
See, Hakeem B says Tyrod Taylor for president. What's up, Hakeem? I haven't seen you in a while either. Oh my God. Mazinga says wishbone or rawhide or wishbone or the little dog. Yes, you love those wishbones. I love the wishbone. I love the wishbone idea. We can call it something more. We can call it something more fun.
The wishbone. Oh, man. I don't know what we're gonna call it. The Willie Beeman special.
The Willie Beeman special. We could do that.
Even though Willie Beeman never actually ran the wishbone.
They never ran the wishbone. Keem's got a good point. Tyrod and the Texans actually beat the Titans last year. He's right. I forgot about that.
See?
I forgot about Montana says, how many teams do you think would have to, who would have, that's a good question. How many teams do you think would have stuck with DJ this long?
Probably one.
Is it a New York team? Do they play in MetLife? Do they wear blue?
It depends because there's a lawsuit on this whole New York, New Jersey thing. But I think you're on the right track.
It's only $1 billion.
Yeah, and that question is awesome because I couldn't think of if you were to just close your eyes, read the stats year by year. After that first year with good solid stats, for you to see the drop off the next 2 years, you'd be like, we're out of here. That's why I just knew it was going to be in, especially when round 3 came around, I knew I was going to hear the New York Giants select Malik Willis, quarterback.
Liberty.
Yeah, hold on. I can't do the stats like you. I can't do somebody's quarterback. Go ahead, give it to me, Tim.
Which are you?
Every time you do somebody's stats, you're like 300 pounds and blah, blah, blah. You put it on a theatric voice. I always crack up when you do that.
Oh my goodness. Well, you have to have to keep people engaged, T-Brad. You got to keep them engaged. I always just like doing my Pete Rozelle for Phil Simms. And they go, the Giants select quarterback, Phil Simms. And they goes, Morehead State. And everyone goes, oh. I was like, oh my.
And you know what the funny thing is? When I was younger, I thought he went to HBCU. I was like, wow, he went to Morehouse.
He went to Morehouse. That would have been something. That would have been something. I just don't think Phil Simms would have went there. No, I'm not sure why, but some people are like, what the hell are they talking about? This is a good question. Who's better, DJ or Drew Locke?
Ooh, and you know what? This is an awesome question because I was a huge Drew Locke fan when he came into the draft. I was a huge, out of Missouri. I really liked Drew Locke. I thought he was going to be a lot better than what he is. And I got to call a hard tie on that one.
A hard tie?
A hard tie on that one because, again, I think Drew Locke was also set up for better success than Daniel Jones. So
I was going to say, I would think that he would probably is in a more in his initial situation that he was in a better situation.
Right. So I'd probably say a hard tie, but that's me being emotional for Drew Locke. But I'd probably say Daniel Jones is better than Drew Locke at this point.
Drew, of course, is in Seattle. And he's fighting the venerable Geno Smith and everyone else that's on the Seattle roster. Do you think he's
Geno Smith, Tim, before you go, Geno Smith should be the guy whose name we don't mention. Because I always say this, and this just irks me to death. I'm not an over-the-top Eli Manning lover, but I'm not an Eli Manning hater either. Right. And he's one of the real pillars of the New York Giants. And the fact that he couldn't keep what an amazing streak that he earned and Geno Smith, how do you go and start that game as Geno Smith? Knowing the streak you're breaking. You're like, you know what? I think I need to go to the trainer. My ankle's not gonna. I'm not starting it.
I'm not ending. But how ballsy though? Because we don't talk about this, Eli. How ballsy is with Eli? And they're like, well, Eli, we're gonna play Geno Smith, and we're gonna start you to keep the streak alive. But then we're gonna bring no.
Yeah, because he could. Yeah,
and he goes to the press and said, "Not doing it. You either play me or you don't. I'm not doing it."
Yep, I'm not gonna get involved, and I respect the hell out of you.
Respect the hell ends the streak that way, and he just no thanks, I'm good.
I'm either starting and I'm gonna go out on my sword, or you're just gonna make this decision.
Yep, I won you 2 Super Bowls, and you're benching me for Geno Smith.
He should. After that, Eli Manning should have really called Allen Iverson for his press guy, and then Allen Iverson should have just said, "Look, what you're gonna do is say, what are we talking about?"
Eli Manning could have been on fire, and I would still have started him over Geno Smith because And Geno's
somebody I liked out of West Virginia. I like when he came because he had a real smoking hot year. Where it's like his senior, that last year was Virginia. Like, damn.
And you thought when he went to the Jets that he second round, he was gonna, that was the steal.
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't watch college football, look up Geno Smith. Last year, he played at West Virginia. His numbers are pretty nice.
Yeah, people forget Geno Smith was a little bit of a knucklehead in college. That's why he kind of fell out of the first round. So I mean, he's with us. But you know what, T-Brad, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna end it here because it is 10:05, and I have to go watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know why. My wife just texted
you know
me.
what? And so will I. May the force be with you, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. It's funny. I never got into Star Wars, but like this, I don't know. I kind of like this Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh man, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, man. The Solo movie, all of them, man, they're all good. Check them out.
Do you watch the cartoons though?
Yes. I'm that much.
My son watches Bad Batch and Star Wars Rebels and something else.
Yeah, Star Wars Rebels is kind of an old one, but it gives you like details of a time period in the Star Wars saga.
Yeah, but I like the Kenobi, and I like that the Book of Boba Fett. I thought that was good.
Really good. Yep.
Yeah, that
really
was
good.
That was
Mandalorian.
Good.
All their shows.
Mandalorian. I like that. I didn't think I was gonna like the Mandalorian. This is the way.
Yeah. They make it good, man. They bring you into this daggone cult. They didn't let you know in the beginning that it's a cult.
Yeah, well, I only watched the first movie, the original Star Wars, and I think I saw part of the second one. Right. But I didn't really watch any. But my son and my wife loved these movies, and then we got watching the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and then turned around and started watching this Obi-Wan. Yeah. And I didn't know that like all the guys from the movie were like are in the show. I mean, that was pretty awesome because I watched, and then you're a Star Wars guy. Explain this to me real quick, and everyone else can just. If you want to leave, go ahead. I'm going to talk to you about a second. I watched not the Last Jedi, the last of the second saga when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting on the planet with all the
Mustafar fighting on Mustafar.
And Obi-Wan goes, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." And he goes, "You doubt my power," and he jumps up and Obi-Wan cuts him in half. Okay. And then he goes into the fire. Now, maybe I'm thinking too much of this. If you're Obi-Wan, don't you just take your lightsaber and stick it in his head? Because then it's over. And I know he's burning up. He's going into the fire and you think he's going to die, but he doesn't. Why not just finish the job?
Yes, that's what I would have done. But I think the script read differently. But again,
little bit.
But story-wise, I think Obi-Wan, because that's why if you see in the movie, he thought he died on that planet anyway.
Right.
And he had so much love for Anakin to kill him like that. That's why he walked away, and he didn't want to see him like that suffering. And again, if you didn't want to see him like that suffering, the lightsaber should end it. But Obi-Wan went. I think he walked away because he knew there was a good movie franchise coming in with TV show rights and everything like that. So I think he knew what to do.
Okay, I was just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Somebody might say, "Oh, the light side of the force, they don't blah 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 blah."
But wouldn't the good side of the force stop someone from suffering?
That's what you would think.
That was mortally wounded. Well, not. But if you cut in half.
But the more you get into some of the Star Wars old stuff, like stuff that happened before the original movie came out, you'll find out that the old Republic, which was the Jedi's running things and not the Sith, they were just as not ruthless, but they were like bullies, like old kings of England. We're going to tax you for this. We're going to do this. So one kind of constant in Star Wars, the entire saga, is absolute power corrupts absolutely. So even if the Jedis are in power, people are suffering. Even if the Siths are in power, people are suffering.
Last question about Star Wars.
Are
the clones stormtroopers?
Are the clones started out as being all the
because
stormtroopers.
they were in the good guys in the beginning in the Clone Wars. They were the good guys. They fought with the Jedi.
What happened was the clones were always set up to be bad guys because the Emperor is the one who created them and created their programming.
Right.
From
Order 66.
Right, from Geonosis, I think is the planet that
Yes.
Camino, the planet they're from. So
wow, you really do know a lot about this.
Yeah. So what happened was when I got 40 some years in practice. So what happened was eventually once the Emperor took over, it was like only the cloners are going to know that I was behind this plot the whole time.
Right.
So he had to get rid of the cloners, and then he started enlisting the people with stormtroopers like the army and did it that way.
Okay. I was always wondering because they always have similar uniforms or outfits.
Right. Yeah. It started out as being clones in those outfits, but eventually they got rid of all the clones and they wanted free thinkers that we could just program as human beings. And then they just offered them a job with benefits and dental. And now you work for the Empire.
Come work for the Empire because we will give you benefits. We'll give you dental. And anywhere else you can go and kill any other race who you want to in the galaxy. Come work for the Empire now. The last episode of Obi-Wan, when he's on the planet and they're trying to get off the planet, or maybe it was 2 episodes, I can't remember. And there was a clone that was panhandling. And he gave him money. Obi-Wan gave him whatever they give you. Whatever.
Right.
Do you think that guy is going to come back into the show? The clone?
I don't know.
It was just kind of weird that a clone was just kind of like there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It could be a cross reference because now everything they do, because it's Disney and they come from the same type of connection that Marvel is, they always try to put something in a show that connects to the movie. That connects to the other show. So it's always interesting. So it could be. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a character that I know that has to show back up.
Were you disappointed when there was so much of the Mandalorian in Boba Fett?
No, because they're connected. Yeah,
but it's a book of Boba Fett. It's not a book of the Boba Fett and the Mandalorian.
But didn't it make it awesome?
It did make it awesome. It was pretty cool. Because I don't understand, because Boba Fett always got his ass kicked until the end.
Yeah, he had to, he was being digested for over a period of how many years? So he finally got out of there. He had to get healed up and everything like that. The
Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. See,
I remember that. I remember that. I started watching that stuff. I don't watch a lot of TV, but that was actually that interests me. That shows.
My wife didn't watch any Star Wars at all. We'll be married 10 years next month, and now she's watching all of them. Hey, the Star Wars is on. All right.
Star Wars is on. It's time to go watch the Star Wars, honey. Come on. But that's awesome. So you see, now I know these things. Now we learned something else about T-Brad. And you know what? This is Tim. This is T-Brad. Appreciate everyone that hung in the room as much as possible this last 10 minutes because I had clone questions. You know what? We'll probably be doing a stream for a little bit, but we'll have some videos coming out the next couple of days. I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Appreciate T-Brad for stopping on by. And you know what, guys? We're out of here. Have yourself a good night. Go watch the Book of Boba Fett or whatever the hell it's called, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I got to know what happened last week.
There you go. Peace out, people.
Leia's going back to the planet or wherever she's from. All right, everyone. Have yourself a good night. Appreciate y'all.